Welcome to part 2 of how to use the navigation in the Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, EV6, and it has some implications also for the GV60. Let's get started. Let's talk about the type of the control buttons here. First of all, we got the home button that goes, I'll get rid of this for a second. That goes to the home page, gives you all your normal navigation. Go back to map here. We've got the compass. I'm going to go ahead and put in a trip so you can see this. But first, let's just change a couple things in the EV menu. Go to home, go to EV. Come on, push button there. All right. Over here is a little gear. Let's push that little gear. And now let's make sure that our DC charging max is set to 90. Normally you keep it at 80, but in the wintertime I kick it up to 90%. And then the other thing we want to do over here is the battery conditioning mode. We want to make sure that that battery conditioning mode is clicked on. That'll give us the preconditioning that we need to warm the battery up to the perfect temperature for charging. I'm going to push my speaker button over here quickly once. Drive to Missoula, Montana.
Sorry, I didn't hear that clearly.
Drive to Missoula, Montana.
Would you like guidance to this location?
Yes. Okay, it's taking us there from Seattle, so obviously we're not going to be able to do that without any stops. So let's get some stops in there. While we're doing that, I'm going to reroute a cable here that I need for my other camera. Okay, so let's just zoom out here a little bit. I wanted that routing here to show you this. So this little next button, that's the compass. If you click on that button once, it flattens it out this way so you can kind of have that 3D kind of view where you're looking at it driving up this way. And if you click on it one more time, it gives you north up. Some people like north to be up on their map. That's easier for them to think. I prefer this way, which allows my car to face whatever direction I'm going on the map. So I'm going up that street, my car's going that way. And then I know from this compass right here that north is this direction. This is your navigation voice. I have mine off right now or muted. Turn it on.
Guidance will be at this volume. Guidance will be at this volume.
Now I can mute it. I'm going to go back and I'm just going to push on this little face right here, and that will mute it. Also, the sound effects happen when you come to a turn or it's rerouting. It'll beep at you to let you know that. This is zoom in and zoom out. You can also pinch. You can make it auto go to a certain distance, like 0.25 miles. And then here's a menu button that takes you to certain information you can get on your display. I don't use this much, and as we drive along, I'll show you why. But we will hit this EV range button right here for a second, and this shows us a graphic of how far we might be able to get, which indicates we could actually go to our second stop here on our trip, but we are not going to do that. Now let's go back to see these stops 1, 2, and 3. These are fuel stops, and there's a fourth one there. If I go to B here, it'll show me 3 at a time what they are. So my first stop's going to be at North Bend. I'm going to charge from 40% to 90%, and it's going to take me 25 minutes. Now, the reason it tops out at 90% is because that's what I have my my maximum charging level before it shuts off a DC fast charger. So that under normal circumstances might be 40 to 80%, and all these others would be to 80% as well. So let's go now, let's find some information out about this North Bend station. If we click on this flag right here, it brings up the outlets, or it brings up the information about where that charger is. And if I click on this little thing that looks like a circle over here, if I click on that, it will give me some real-time information. Right now, 2 are available, 2 are in use, all of them seem to be in order, and there's no unknown status of any of them. So technically, if I drive up there now, I should come to I should see 2 cars in there, and 2 are available for me to plug into. And then there's a little diagram of where I might look for those chargers once I get into that facility. I think the only other thing right here, let's get back out and go right back to the regular map. There is a little grayed out circle here over here on the side. If I push on that, it's going to give me a side menu that has a lot of different things in it. I prefer to leave it in electric use because that'll tell me if my preconditioning comes on. It's really warm today. It's unlikely that battery preconditioning will come on, but if it does come on, I'll see it right there. If I get in trouble and need a charger, then I can go to this next screen right here, and it'll show me the charging station that's nearby, or this one here is what we're programmed into right now. But if I hit more, it'll bring up a list of other chargers around me. And I can, from my previous video, you'll see how to filter those out. Let's go ahead and drive to our location. Let's go ahead and drive to our location, and at least the location of our first charger, as if we're going on this trip. I am not going to go to Missoula today. Actually, the weather's right this minute's not bad, but on the weather to Missoula right now is really horrible, so we're not going to do that today. But we will go ahead and take this trip, and at least the first part of it, and we will talk about things along the way, and hopefully we can get out of our own driveway here, which is the hard part, because we have a truck parked right behind us there. Oh, we're clear of it. A lot of beeps in this car. All right. Okay. We're on the road, and it's going to take us a while to get to the freeway, so I don't know if we'll probably just leave everything running here just to make it easier to do our video. Not sure what this car is doing here. Let's just go ahead and go. Let's send it. Okay, I think maybe we will go a few blocks here and then kind of stop everything for a while. And the reason we're going to stop everything is this, it's really hard to get a camera that's going to work anyway to make actual video while we're moving. Oh, there's a Ioniq 6 right there. Oh, nice. Very nice. All right. So we're going to shut everything off here for a few minutes, and then we'll turn it back on right before we get on the freeway. Off. And okay, we're on. It is 1:18, and we are going to be working on the navigation again. Okay, we're just about to get on the freeway here, and once we get on the freeway, well, not exactly the freeway, but we're going to get on to Highway 99, which goes through Seattle, and then it'll pop us on the freeway. So let's follow the map here. I got some gear rattling around in the car today, so it's not going to be totally quiet like normal, but still it shouldn't be too bad. It's going to depend on the pavement mostly. All right, we are about to get on the highway. All of the front shots today are going to come out of my FitCam X dash cam, so look for that. I think you'll enjoy that. Sorry that we're slightly zoomed out on this screen. That is purely because this is the third time I've tried this video and I can't get close to that screen and maintain any kind of stabilization, so we're going to have to stay zoomed out a little bit. So the new screen that you see as we are on our trip over here is this one over the side. It has 3 tabs across the top. One says simple, one says rest areas, and the other says details. And we'll talk about what each one of those does on our trip. Right now, it's just going to tell us the turns that we need to take. If we are driving straight through to Missoula tonight, we're going to arrive at 11:47 p.m. and that's considering our charging stops. It is highly unlikely it would actually take that long, but it also takes traffic into consideration. And I know that there is a storm between here and Missoula, so it's possible that it actually might take that long. Once again, a little review here. So at this point, we're not going to do much of anything until we get on the freeway. What we will talk about here for just a second is each of these things. Normally you would think, oh, that's the first one, that's the second one, that's the third one. That is not correct the way this operates. This is the first one, this is the one after that, and this is after that. So the good news is it shows your next turn and your next 2 turns after that and the approximate distance, which is really helpful if you're talking about it's really helpful if you're talking about a bunch of turns really quickly. It's one of the things I don't like about Apple CarPlay or Waze or any of those. They just don't give me enough information quickly enough. So that's kind of why I like this display. You can make this whole box go away just by clicking this little thing in the corner, and then it just gives us a synopsis. It tells us that our first rest area is one called Indian John Hill, which is 91 miles from here. It tells me my next turn's going to be in 1.2 miles, and then after that I'm going to go straight at 0.3 of a mile. I'm actually not going to go that way, so it's going to have to reroute me in a minute. That would work, but it takes me through a little too much downtown traffic that I don't like. So we're going to go on to through the tunnel and out by the stadiums, and I'm not sure. Hopefully that's not going to get us in trouble today, because there's no football game till tomorrow, and there's no baseball game today or no soccer game, so that should be good. In the meantime, we're going to go back to this screen right here, and we're just going to sit here and drive on this beautiful fall day. Might turn on the speaker for a second so you can kind of hear the commands.
In 0.4 miles, turn slight left onto Aurora Avenue North. In a quarter mile, turn slight left onto Aurora Avenue North.
I'm not going to take that turn. Let's see what she says after I don't take that turn. That alarm was telling me that I
Turn
was
slight left onto Aurora Avenue North.
coming up too quickly on somebody who was making a right turn from my lane. But of course,
In a
I
quarter
can
mile,
see.
keep left onto Denny Way.
Yep, rerouting.
In 1.9 miles, take East Frontage Road south on the left.
Now you see this pixie stick thing turn gray there for a second? That's because I'm in a tunnel, I don't have satellite. And when you don't have cell service, actually it's cell service that you need. The cell service turned back on and now it's green again. And that's active traffic information. So as long as that's green, I know that it's going to be clear through. If I see any yellow or red, that means caution or the traffic is actually stopping along the way. We're in a tunnel right now, so it's quite long. You can see little icons around here. Those are actually charging icons.
In 1 mile, take East Frontage Road south on the left.
If you ever get into anything that doesn't look right, there's a little blue arrow with a circle in it. Just click on that. That just brings you right back up. This is a diagram of my next turn. And that diagram also shows up in my heads-up display in the limited version of my Ioniq 5. It looks exactly like that up here in my heads-up display with the speed limit. And in my heads-up display, because I'm slightly exceeding that speed limit, the 40 is red. That doesn't show here, but in my heads-up display it does. Also, notice that it gives me my next turn after this turn is just 0.3 of a mile.
Take East Frontage Road south on the left.
And then I'm coming into a toll booth in 50 feet. A lot of information there. You can see that there's water right out there. This actually goes slightly under the water. Okay, oh, bright sunshine, yowie.
Toll ahead.
Yowie.
In 0.3 miles, turn left onto South Atlantic Street.
Interesting. Toll ahead. Didn't really toll me there. Interesting. Okay, we're just gonna follow the yellow brick road. Okay, see this yellow point here indicates
Turn
that
left onto South Atlantic Street and then keep left.
there's some slowing traffic there. That's just because there's a stoplight, a couple stoplights right there before you blast onto the freeway. Get my windshield a little squirt here. We're still recording, that's good. Like I said, I've tried to make this video. This is my third time. And the big problem is the cameras are just not able to see this and stay steady enough without making you sick.
In a half mile, keep left onto I-90 East.
I'm going to turn this
Guidance is at this volume.
turn the guidance back off. I like to use the guidance, but only if I'm in a city that I don't know. I find it's a good aid there, but generally I leave it off because what it tells me in my heads-up display and what I see right here is plenty. Now you notice I get on Interstate 90 East in 0.5 of a mile, and then I continue on because there's some exits to downtown until I get to North Bend at exit 31. And there's some icons here. There's a charging icon, there's a McDonald's icon and a Starbucks icon. If I click on any one of those icons, it'll show me all the services that are on that exit. As we get on the freeway, we'll take a look at that. After we're established on the freeway and I've got my car going and highway driver's assist, where I feel like I can actually talk about it and take my hands off the wheel for a second. Okay, we have missed all those lights right there. That rarely ever happens. All right. Probably gonna see the camera with the stabilization floating around there a bit because we're going around this big S curve here. It is windy today, so This car generally has almost zero wind noise, but because we have winds gusting to 45 right now, you definitely will hear some wind noise, but it's hitting the side of the car. It's not actually noise that we hear when we're driving generally. There's another diagram right there to tell us we're getting on the freeway. You'll see if I show the windshield, the dash cam, you'll see that the flag we just went by on the left is standing straight out. So we get out here a little ways, we'll talk a little bit more about charging, the route planning. So it added our chargers completely, and it told us how much we're going to charge and how long we're going to be there. And we're not going to talk, we're going into a tunnel, so we're going to quit for a minute. One of the things about this car is it automatically turns on recirculation when you go into a tunnel, so you don't have to breathe any exhaust fumes that might be in the tunnel. Not too crowded in here today, so it's not too noisy. You don't really hear anything in this car but tire noise on the pavement. You do hear some of that. I wish it was a bit quieter, but still, compared to other cars, it's quite quiet. Let's see some white caps on the floating bridge today. All right, so let's take a look at what we're looking at now. Now we're going to go out here 25.8 miles to exit 31. And after we get off at the exit, there's a roundabout. Looks like we take the second arrow on the roundabout. Sorry. And then we travel a quarter of a mile, take a left, and that'll take us into the chargers. That ding is because I didn't have my hands on the wheel. Okay, the rest area. So if we go to that rest area tabs, we see that our first rest area is 85 miles away. We're going to arrive there at approximately 3:15, counting our charging stop. The next rest area after that is at 38.2 miles. And then the one after that's 125 miles after that. So 87 miles to our first one, another 38 to the second one, and 125 after that to the third one. Details, just going to give me every single stop along every single exit on the freeway. If I click on any one of these exits, it's going to give me, oops, sorry, car jogged there right when I clicked that. If I click on any one of these exits, sorry, I'll try that again after we get out of the tunnel here. So if I click on any one of the icons, then it's going to give me a list of everything that's at that exit. So here's some restaurants, some fast food, community center, anything that's at that exit will show up. I can add it to my route as a stop if I want, or I can just drive to it and then reroute myself later. At this point, I'm not going to add anything. I'm just going to push my map button or just hit the return button. So that's at our details. Back to our simple thing. Once again, we're looking at those things. Let's talk about our stops again. So as we drive out to North Bend here, see these little flags right here. Once again, bottom to top. So my North North Bend stop is first, then my Taco Bell in Ellensburg, and then the Cow Creek Mercantile. Now notice the Cow Creek Mercantile doesn't give us an address. If we click on the little flag right next to it, then it'll give us the address up here. So it's in Ritzville, Washington. It gives us a telephone number to call. Good luck with that one because Cow Creek Mercantile is actually closed, but the chargers are still there and they are working. So let's hit this button to go back. Let's look at our North Bend charger. Once again, click on the flag. Kind of hard to do sometimes when you're driving. Okay, it gives us a diagram of what it looks like going in, gives us our address. Let's find out some more information. So over here, whoops, sorry. Back to the flag. Over here is a little circle with an information icon. Click on that. It said real-time information may differ. If I click on this, it'll give me my real-time information. Now, at the chargers we're going to, there's one available, 3 in use, and 0 out of order, and 0 the status unknown. So, and we can see that they're in use is one of the 350s and 2 of the 150s. Let's go back one screen here. Also, you can't really see it on this, but there is an icon right there next to where it says North Bend, and that indicates that we're going to an Electrify America charger. And we can filter our chargers in the charging screen, which you can get to either from the EV section or, let's go back to the map again, there is a pop out right here. You hit that gray thing and you go to the charging screen, hit more, and then there is a filter right here, and I can filter in and out brands of chargers that I don't like. So if I and also speed, so if I don't want a level 2 charger, I make sure that 0 is not clicked. Only 50 and above will give me fast chargers, so that's how I would do that. Now let's go back to the map. We'll do that with the hot button down below. Also, this screen right here gives me some real-time information about fast chargers at North Bend too. I like to leave it on this screen. So apparently it's decided that I'm not at optimum battery temperature for my charge. So it has turned the charger on. It's taking 4.5 kilowatts right now, and it's going to put my battery conditioning in the premium spot for maximum charging. Sorry, we're on really loud pavement right now, so normally this is quite quiet, but this section of pavement's been worn out by a lot of truck traffic. Now I've moved over a lane and it's a little smoother. So since we've started today, we have used 82% of this particular drive's power. Total has gone to 82% of this drive's power has gone to driving the car. 1% has gone to heat, and 4% has gone to running lights and seat heaters and radio and all that kind of stuff. And then 13% currently has gone to battery preconditioning. So we arrive at that North Bend charger in 17 miles. Our charger should be at the premium temperature for fast charging. So I'm going to say that's where it's going to be, and we'll just happen to see what happens there. So I think that's a pretty good thing. Oh, let's go back and talk about this. So if I saw this on a trip the other day, it had decided, actually it was this same direction, it had decided that I had enough energy to skip the North Bend charger. So when I went to that screen, the North Bend charger was gone. And only the Taco Bell and the Cow Creek Mercantile and the next charger showed, because I didn't actually need the power I didn't need to charge at North Bend. I then, because I was doing a video, wanted to make sure that North Bend charger was there, so I just increased my drain, and I did that by going into sport mode. I did that by going into sport mode and then by increasing the so I did that by going into sport mode and increasing the heat. By driving that fan up, I was able to use enough energy to put myself back into sport mode. I mean, back into needing that North Bend stop. I'm about to get passed by a state patrolman here, which is okay with me. Let him go by. It's good that we know he's in front of us, so we won't pass him at our next exit, or before our next exit. It's really hard for me to it's really hard for me to keep going and talk and drive and do all this at the same time, but hopefully it works out. So let's just review for a second. On a recent trip, I looked, it was the same trip essentially. I looked and my North Bend charging stop was removed. And it showed Taco Bell at Ellensburg, and then the next stop, the stop after that. The reason for that is the car dynamically decided that I didn't need this charging stop, so it took it away and added another stop at the end. I actually wanted to go to that stop, so in order to get the car to preheat and to make sure that stop was back in the navigation, I put the car in sport mode and turned the heat up so the demand would go up on the energy and get me back into needing that particular charging stop. So these charging stops will adjust themselves as you need them. So if you decided, like right now I show that I have 96 miles, which is not quite enough to skip this stop, but if I decided that I had enough to skip that stop, then what I would do is just drive by the North Bend stop, and it would realize that I did it. It'd probably try to reroute me for a while, but eventually it'd realize that I did it, and it would just add the next stop. So we'd be ready to go on to the next stop. So it's all dynamic. It's all getting better. Every version of software is better than it was before. So I'm really kind of liking it. I hope that, I see this camera got bumped a little bit, so I'm going to readjust it here a bit. I'll try to adjust that up in post. I don't know at what point it got bumped over, but we'll do what we can. I had to turn this camera off for a minute. Okay, we're back on. We are 12.5 miles from our charging stop. And after I'm charged, I'm going to go get some lunch at some of those locations there. So it's good to know that those are there. So just in case that camera was too far over to get information, we go through this again. These are our instructions. Let's get rid of this. These are our instructions. 11.8 miles for the turn. There's a roundabout 0.3 of a mile after that. And then I go straight for 0.4 of a mile and turn left into the charging location. My rest areas are 71 miles away is the Indian John Hill rest area. Then 38 miles after that is the Ryegrass rest area, and 125 miles after that is the Sprague Lake rest area. Under details, every single exit I go by and the services available at the exit. By pressing on a service, it'll bring me up all the services that are available at that stop. I can click on a service and add that as a waypoint, or I can just make it a route, or I can just go back to my regular map. There is a grayed out area over here that gives me a number of different screens. The ones I like most, I like this screen because it gives me longitude, latitude, and elevation. I like this screen because it gives me electrical use, how much I've used on each one of these things since I started driving. Notice 14% of this particular short drive has gone to preconditioning the battery for my next stop. And then there's a screen for charging down here, which does a number of different things that I covered on my last video. So when my battery preconditioning quits working, then this will zero out. So as we go along here in a minute, that will turn off when my battery is at perfect condition. Okay, pushing on this little B flag down here brings up my charging stops. My next one's at North Bend in 10.1 miles. I'm going to arrive there at 1:57, and I'm going to charge from 36% to 90% in 24 minutes. And we will actually check that out. A lot of that's going to depend upon if the chargers that we want are available. And we can see that by clicking on the flag right here. If I click on that flag, it brings up the address. If I click on this information thing, it brings up my screen and tells me right now that 2 chargers are available, 2 are in use. I can tell you right now that one 350 is in use and 2 of the 150s are in use. These will dynamically change. We'll check that again right before we roll in there and see what that screen says. Right now, let's get back to our map and our regular route. We'll leave this screen on to see if it puts up. It's actually gone back to 0 power for battery preconditioning. That means I'm up to temperature. So I'm going to take that screen off now that I know I'm up to my right temperature. I'm going to let that off of there. I've got 2.5 miles. Whoops, sorry. I've got 7.4 miles to my exit. It is quite warm out today, so it is a little bit amazing that the battery preconditioning came on, but it just goes to show you that it feels like it's necessary for the battery preconditioning to come on anytime it's cold and wet. And mostly it's just wet right now, but it is below that optimum temperature for battery preconditioning. So let me see what it said here. It said we were going to arrive at 38%. We have 42% right now, so that seems like a good estimate with 42% now, and we're going to arrive with 38. Whoops, I hit the wrong button here. It's rerouting me. Better not be rerouting me. We're at exit 25. Although I don't have another passenger in the car to help me with this today, the camera is mounted to the ceiling, which is why it wiggles around a little bit. And then almost all the driving is being done by the lane keeping and the cruise control, highway driver's assistant 2 in the Ioniq 5 limited edition, which is really nice because I I'm sharing my vision out the window with what I'm looking at over here, and it's really nice to have a second set of eyes, which is basically what this thing is. It will not allow me to run into that car in front of me. It just won't. It'll beep. It'll brake on its own. If I'm just using the steering and actually controlling the car speed with my foot, then it'll beep like crazy if it looks like I might hit the car in front of me because it's slowing down too fast. So it's actually super safe. Well, it's, like any car, it's just as safe as its driver, but it has lots of warnings. You'd have to be a blind and deaf person to hit somebody in front of you, with all the warnings that go off when this car thinks you're going to hit something. Okay, we are zooming along here. We are 3.6 miles from our exit. It is a beautiful fall day. I'll show you, like I said, some of the pictures from my FitCam X dash cam. The trees are just past peak right now. You can see a lot of beautiful gold colors. Here in the Northwest, we don't have any, with the exception of a few vine maples, any reds. Pretty much all the maples here turn golden, yellow, and browns, and the rest of the trees are pretty deciduous. You'll see, like off to the left right here, a little bit of red. Those are vine maples. They are beautiful, but there aren't very many of them. I don't know if they're native or if they just volunteered themselves from some other place. They do seem to be relatively native to the mountains close by. You might be able to see through the dash cam some mountains ahead of us. We are about to hit a rainstorm here, so the windshield wipers are going to come on. It's going to get a little noisy from the rain, both from the glass roof that's holding up the camera and from the windshield wipers that are going to be turned on here. So there you go. There's the rain. We don't have to go very far to go in it, so that's not too bad. We've got 1.6 miles to our exit here. A lot of the beeps you hear is because I'm playing around with my hands. My other hand's on the window over here, and when the steering wheel wants to know, even though I'm looking out the window, whether I'm close to the wheel. So it's asking me to wiggle it, which I am when it needs it. Okay, 1 mile. Once again, I'm seeing this emblem through my windshield, through my heads-up display. Let's take a quick look at the chargers. Still says 2 in use, 2 available. Not too worried. 40 feet away from those chargers these are Electrify America's 2 350s and 2 150s. 50 feet, less than 50 feet away from those chargers, there is a EV Go station that has 2 50 kilowatt chargers, and I think actually you can use handles on both sides of those, so it's a pretty good stop if you want to make sure you can get a charge. So now we have this little roundabout here. You can see that we're actually taking the second turn out of the roundabout. Let's slow down. This is the city of North Bend. There's a lot of traffic here, so we have to wait our turn in the roundabout. And we will go out around the roundabout. You can see all the fast food stuff going by: McDonald's, Starbucks, Burger King, Baskin and Robbins. There's a Safeway there. All that stuff you can see. And here's our charger right here. So we're going to go through this light to the next light and take a left. So I know how to get to that charger. Let's see what the status of it is now. Okay. Okay, real time. Still says 2 in use, 2 available. I don't know how fast they change that. I know it changes dynamically. We're simply pull around this corner. We'll see what we really have here. And I'm just going to leave it on that screen, just in case one of those cars pulls away. So, all right, let's see here. We got a left turn. This is in an outlet mall, and with lots of parking, so very seldom is it iced. Okay, I can see right now that we have in the chargers 2 in use, 2 available. And we are going to pull in, and then off to the left right here you can see the EVgo chargers. There's 2 level 2s and a level 1. I'm sorry, there's 2 DC fast chargers and a level 2 charger. So let's back into this first 350 right here because I know it works. I used it the other day. And we're gonna back right in here. And, whoops, are we gonna make it? I think we better pick another shot at it here. The nice things about this particular trim level is we have this nice 360 overhead cam that'll keep us from hitting that curb, although the cameras are pretty wet right now. All right, let's get out, start the charger. Just FYI, you could start the charger. Actually, I don't have my CarPlay hooked up, but you could start the charger with CarPlay from here. So, okay, we're charging here at 194, 195, 195 kilowatts. This charger might be slightly derated. Our battery's at perfect temperature because we saw that battery preconditioning come on. So, and it's saying 23 minutes to 90. We'll check that as we go down there. I think that's probably accurate. And we'll see what our, let's get our thing. We'll see what our actual charging time is at the end. So, okay, we've got 2 minutes to 90. We're pulling 55 kilowatts. And we're at 88%. So I will get out in a second and take a look at what the actual time to 90 is in a minute. It's at 88. I notice that generally it turns off at 89 instead of 90, but I'm not sure why it does that, but that's what it does, even though it's going to say it clicked off at 90. I'm going to wait. It's pouring rain out there, so we're going to wait. And still at 49 at 90, at 89, 49 kilowatts at 89. And there goes, it clicked off. Okay, we're looking, it took us 20 minutes to get to 90%. We took on 41.5 kilowatt hours. So so it went in 20 minutes, it went to 90%. So that's, so here's our charging stops. It's added one at Walmart somewhere along the way. Let's see, Taco Bell, Cow Creek. Let's see where this Walmart is. It's at Smelterville, Idaho. So that's pretty consistent. I'm pretty sure our last charging stop was less than it said it was going to be. We'll look at that later. So, although we're not actually going to go to Missoula, we are going to go home, but this is shows you what a sample trip might have been like if we had actually gone on it, which we actually didn't. So there you go. If you have questions about what you saw in this video, please leave them in the comments below, and I will get to them when I get to them. Hopefully it won't be too long. I try to get to them relatively quickly. So if you like it, please like and subscribe.